this is the first Wayman / Soveran poem that I wrote, and I put Wayman in it just so everybody knew that I was totally ripping him off. But I think I can go a different route with it. Wayman, Soveran is looking for Soveran. Soveran thinks it would be easier to be Wayman. He met Wayman once, and he seemed to know himself. Soveran is looking for Soveran, and he suspects that he's an American. He knows his name. He is not a sovereign king, because that's too British, and Soveran came from Ellis Island. And Americans don't want to be British, they want to be American. And that's why they glued American names that stuck to immigrants. Blind post-it note. That's what Soveran is. Soveran is looking for Soveran, and he suspects that he's in Ukraine. Soveran's real name is something like Zolnarov, because he is Ukrainian, or the child of the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, or the child of a father whose father had Alzheimer's and forgot his name. His father stopped talking when his mother died, and no one knew how to pronounce the Ukrainian name, so he imagined Soveran as truth, and now he has nothing else. So Soveran was never British, so Soveran is not American, so Soveran is not Ukrainian. So Soveran stands in Canada, but not in Toronto or Montreal. So Soveran stands in a field of canola, sown by a distant uncle. Soveran is looking for Soveran. He suspects that he's in Canada. If he was in Ontario or Quebec, he would know what being Canadian is. They carve themselves in pink granite. But Soveran breathes dust and sand. Soveran lives on a registration page, and whatever he tries to write himself as dries up and blows away. Soveran wishes he was Wayman. At least then he would know who he was looking for. So, even though these are maybe repetitive poems, I have new stories that go before the poems. And my story for the next kind of bunch of poems, these are kind of like my God poems, if you will. And last night I went out for supper with my dad and my wife, and then my mother-in-law. And my dad is an introvert and really shy, but really aggressive when he has to say his opinion or whatever. And then my mother-in-law is very extroverted and very charismatic. Both Christian, but very different parts on the spectrum. And there was this awesome moment where my dad said, "I don't care for charismatics." And there was this like awkward silence where me and my wife looked at each other, the parents were staring off. I don't know. So anyways, I fit somewhere in the middle maybe between those two poles. Revelation. And it starts out with a little quote from Revelation. "So then, because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. I spit and extinguish the burning bush, once a fiery temple. The grass remains charred, remnants of sandals lay, forgotten beside the fear of the Lord, a worn pillar of salt licked by sheep's tongues. Leaves curl in as they fall, without wind or wings to carry them. Angry roots twist themselves in exodus. I stand watching as things fall apart. But I do not need the seizure of Promethean fire. Body temperature is just fine." This poem I probably read the most, but it gets a laugh, and I need the attention, so bring on the last beat. So I was a camp counselor for a lot of years. So, well, you can enter into the insanity. Camp counselor, August. The first, new week, more kids to forget. Second. Third, repetition reveals itself, roast beef and mashed potatoes. Fourth, God is elusive, a mouse in the brush. Fifth. Sixth, kids leave, learn most of their names. 7, forgot them. 8, new week, more kids. 9, I tell my Bible study group that I've lost God, and we search for the rest of the afternoon. 10, 11, I have time off with her, and she paints rocks. 12. I almost hit a fawn while driving the van to horseback riding, and the kids probably would have cried. 14. I swam across the lake. 15. New week. Kids? 16. I tell them God disappeared, missing in action. 17. A connection. My hand touches hers, and it feels right. 18. Staff worship, and we joke about our vampiric sacraments. I think we're all hellbound. 19. 20th. Kids leave. Subtle romance dictates me, and I throw a whipped cream pie in her face. 21st. We go for coffee and smile. 22nd to the last week. 23rd. So many kids, I forget who I am. 24th. 25th. I get angry, and I kick a soccer ball at a camper, and it hits him, and I feel a lot better. That actually happened. The 26th. God is stuck in the sewage line and backs up the whole system. 27th. The kids leave. 28th. Staff party. I almost kiss her. 29th. She leaves for Norway. 30th. I drive home. 31st. This is probably the oldest poem I have. And it was from a couple years ago when I was at Sage Hill. And we got this list of, like one of those lists of the wackiest laws in Canada. And apparently somewhere in Canada there is a law that you have to wear socks when you drive a taxi. So, I don't know, but I went from there. And it's called failing to wear socks when driving a taxi. The red light is a full body baptism. Water pools at your ankles as you stand in the Jordan. You stop silent, the sun, scarlet, thorns embed blood on your scalp. God walks in the weeds, wraps you, hangs the burden of a pierced tree as a riptide, and drags you under, and exhale. Eyes open with the wind as spirit guides you to shore. First breath, a divining car horn, as street light turns green. I took one art history class in university, and for some reason a couple weeks ago, I can't remember what the artist did it, but the sculpture of Saint Teresa of Avila in Ecstasy just got in my brain, and then I was thinking about other things. This is the first poem that I sent to Leaf, and this is where the duet starts, if you will. So it's called Teresa. She watches the midnight circle, crows listing between the shadows of her eyes beneath the 41st floor, as the sun swallows the city whole. Their wings reflect vinyl meditation, the simplicity of their repentance flashes in the gold pane of the perpendicular office. One floor down, she conceives Teresa bathing, naked as the last auric rays of the evening. Her intercession is ecstasy, open to the perforation of each crow's beak, arrows that spill her votive prayer like bitumen down the mirrored walls. Her candle floods through the towers and fills the stories with the last offering of vision before she calculates the weight